Home prices, believe it or not, are on the rise in New Braunfels. But how can this be with interest rates still where they're at today? And since this is still the narrative from new home builders.
I haven't sold anything yet, but I got some things working. There's a few houses that's being looked at.
So buyers are looking, but it doesn't mean they're purchasing, or does it? I'm going to explain all of this in today's video. If you guys are new here to my channel, thank you so much for hopping aboard, because every week we're really trying to put out relevant content about what it's like to live in New Braunfels. All right, so what's going on with our rising home prices here in New Braunfels? Here is the latest housing market report for New Braunfels, and I'm still shaking my head, guys. Look at this. Our median home price is the highest it's ever been in New Braunfels, nearing $400,000. That's $18,000 more than it was in December, and $47,000 more than it was at this time last year, when our median home price was $351,000. How can this be? This is the great mystery. How can home prices in New Braunfels on average continue to rise when interest rates still are where they're at, and when homes are still sitting on the market? I mean, look at our inventory compared to last year. Our inventory, we have 3 times the amount of inventory, almost 3 times the amount as we did last year at this time, 3.5 months right now, less than a month last year, and homes are taking 58 days longer to sell this year compared to last year. So what gives? Let's take a look at why this is happening. And the bottom line, guys, in all of this right now is that more buyers are purchasing homes in the higher price ranges. Last year at this time, 66% of our buyers were in the $200,000 to $399,000 price range. It's tumbled since then big time, down to 45% today in that price range. Which makes all the sense in the world, because if you're buying between $200,000 and $399,000, you're going to be on a budget, on a monthly budget, and you're going to be more sensitive to the monthly payment. And with interest rates where they're at today, it becomes easier to understand why buyers are dropping out of that price range between $200,000 and $399,000. Here's where our rising home prices in New Braunfels becomes even more clear. Look at the number of buyers in the $400,000 to $499,000 price range. Last year at this time, 15%. Today, this year, that number of buyers in that price range has more than doubled. We're not done yet. Last year at this time, 11% of our buyers were in the $500,000 to $799,000 price range when buying a house here in New Braunfels. This year, it's at 12.5%. Here's the big one. Last year at this time, less than 2% of our buyers were in that $750,000 to $999,000 price range. Today, this year, the number of buyers in that price range has more than doubled. So the number of buyers purchasing homes in the higher price ranges in New Braunfels has increased. Whether they're purchasing homes in New Braunfels proper, closer to the heart of the city, or whether they're purchasing in Hill Country, where many times buyers, families come out to New Braunfels, purchase land, and build their forever home on that land, or many will come and buy an existing home or newly finished home. At any rate, those homes in the Hill Country, since they're on more land, cost more money, well into the 8s, 9s, and over $1 million. Buyers in this segment, the higher price segment in New Braunfels, less impacted by today's interest rates, because they're either putting down all cash, it's an all cash deal, or they're putting down a good chunk of cash. Have times changed big time in New Braunfels. You're looking at the median home price in New Braunfels for March 2020, $245,000. Everybody's dream. And today, almost $400,000. And look at this telling stat. In March 2020, 83%, guys, 83, almost all of our buyers were between $200,000 and $399,000. Today, that number is at 45%. And here are more head-shaking stats. Back in March 2020, only 3% of the buyers represented that price range between $400,000 and $499,000. Today, it's 33% of the buyers are purchasing between $400,000 and $499,000. And let's look at this one. That price range between $500,000 and $1 million was almost non-existent in March 2020. Today, that price range 17% of our buyers are purchasing between $500,000 and $1 million. It's mind-blowing. I'm going to tell you, I look at that March 2020 graphic almost every month just to compare where we were at 245 our median home price to where we're at today, and today it's almost $400,000. But think about it, guys, the pandemic really created almost all of this, right? Pandemic hit, now you can work from home and you can have the freedom to move wherever you wanted to since you can work from home, and money was cheaper. And in many cases, many of our buyers were selling their homes for twice as much as what they were paying for a house here in New Braunfels. What do you guys make of all these rising prices in New Braunfels? Is it putting the brakes on your plans to move to New Braunfels? Or are you saying to yourself, you know what, forget about that. I'm moving forward with my plans to move to New Braunfels. Let me know in the comment section below. And if that's the case, you plan on moving to New Braunfels, or after hearing about where we're at with higher prices, you plan on selling your house in New Braunfels. Either way, I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You guys know what to do. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching our videos, and we'll see you on the next one.